Well, enough talk about network TV. I know we are living in the age of streaming, and right now, one of the big dogs is Disney, Disney Plus, and their Hulu streaming platforms. And we got some news regarding just Disney as a whole, Disney and Hulu. So take it away, Jonesy. What's happening in the world of Disney streaming?
Wait, first off, I want to ask, is that like a Diamond Dogs Rough Rough? Is that like a Ted
You know,
Lasso
it
thing?
just it yes. Let's just say yes because we watched that episode where what's his name Nate tried to create his own diamond dogs and failed miserably. I don't know if you saw that spoiler.
I did.
Yeah,
What did he call them? I
I
don't
I,
remember.
I don't remember either. I just remember it was a
Fuck.
failed experiment and he should be ashamed for
Right.
trying. Though I will say I love what they're doing with Nate so far in this season. How they're not portraying him as a complete piece of shit like I expected them to. Like he's still him. Like that's really great. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So
But
what's
enough
going
about
on in the
Apple
world of
TV Plus.
enough about Apple TV Plus. We're talking about the other streaming service. So Disney's doing a couple of things right now. They are moving towards merging Disney Plus and Hulu for US subscribers. As Cam talked about on the Discord chat, this is the thing that already exists for international users. I've experienced it here in Korea, where if you turn on Disney Plus, you're getting a ton of Hulu content in there. Like I could have watched Prey, for instance, which was a Hulu original movie. I can watch that on Disney Plus. Um, but the company is moving towards integrating those services. And one of the things that they say is that it's going to make it easier or better for advertisers. I'm not sure whether or not I think that's true, but yeah, they're going to be the way McCarthy said it. Christine McCarthy, who's the CFO, said, "We're in the process of reviewing the content on our services to align with strategic changes in our approach to content curation. As a result, we will be removing certain content from our streaming platforms, and so they're going to put some of the other stuff on Hulu. Now, I'm sorry, on Disney Plus. Now, that also comes in conjunction with news for the fact that Disney Plus has lost a significant number of subscribers
Yep.
in this last quarter, and so I don't think that this is a response to that, but it sounds like the streamer is hurting and adding a lot of this general content to the Disney Plus app could only help rather than hurt.
Yeah,
Does that
it's
paint the picture? I feel like that does.
in interesting age of streaming we're living in now that kind of the table has been set. We're kind of seeing things whittle out little by little. I mean, we've been seeing recently. I mean, there's a couple different things that are happening. We're seeing companies other than HBO, excuse me, HBO Max, soon to be Max.
Max?
Yeah, is like the only newcomer currently apart from Netflix who is profitable, if I'm not mistaken. Marginally so, but still profitable. Disney Plus won't be profitable until next year, supposedly. Kyle is shaking his head. He's like, "That's not gonna happen. I got a fucking business degree. I'm better than Bob Iger." Um, but yeah, so I mean, clearly they're having some pains here. But then I'm sure this is going to be exasperated by the writer's strike, wherein the writers are looking to take take their cut, so to speak, of quote unquote royalties, and that'll if that does go through, it would probably make it necessary for streamers to start sharing numbers,
And Jammer,
at least on some level. What?
have to issue a correction for you.
Nope.
HBO Max
Okay.
is not profitable.
Okay.
As a matter of
Are you
fact,
sure?
yeah, I'm fairly certain. I'm looking at Variety's reports on the 2.1 billion losses in Q4, including the streaming service for HBO Max.
Including, are we sure about that?
Yeah, I'm reading the New York owner of TNT and TBS cable networks, HBO Max streaming service, and Warner Brothers production studio reported net loss 2.1 billion
Really quick,
for its fiscal
asking-
fourth quarter.
That is that HBO Max or is that Discovery? Is that the whole company?
I guess it's Warner Brothers Discovery sees 2.1 billion loss
I'm
in
talking about
quarter
HBO
four.
Max. I'm talking about the
Okay.
streaming platform.
All right.
But yeah, if you can dig into that and let me know if I'm wrong, because if I'm wrong, I certainly want to be correct. But I was specifically talking about Max, HBO Max. God, I'm not going to get used to that ever. Where was I going with that? Let's see here. Oh yeah. So, is this the beginning of a consolidation of Disney Plus, or do you just see it as a way for them to almost like the Disney Vault, where they're kind of cycling in and out content just so that they can have new releases to sort of throw out there every few months for people to think, oh, I should subscribe for this new piece of content that's hitting. Like maybe the famous Jet Jackson is finally going to get released on Disney Plus again. Who knows? I don't know. What are your thoughts? I know across the, outside of the US, it already is two branded things, but I'm just curious your thoughts.
I think they're throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. Looking at some of the content that they've had over the last year at least, their Marvel stuff has been okay. Their Disney stuff has been, with the exception, I think, of Andor, it's been all right. I think they're just trying to figure out a strategy to lower their overhead as well as bring folks into the fold, right? So, like, at an earnings call is when we find out that they're bleeding subscribers, but they've known this, right? This isn't a mystery to them on the inside. So this is probably a new strategy that helps them deal with that.
So I want to circle back to our thing. So it looks like as of February, there was a $217 million loss on streaming. However, last week, it was announced that they expect to turn a profit in 2023. So a profit is expected this year. So they have not currently had it. Let's see here. It is an important time for Warner Bros. Discovery. We've come through major restructurings. In fact, we expect our U.S. DTC business to be profitable for 2023, a year ahead of our guidance. So that's where my misinterpretation came from. So there's the correction. Yeah, because they're just throwing stuff at a wall because this is still, if you can believe it, a decade later after Netflix really first started throwing out really quality content, we still don't have anything set in motion, any solid way for these streamers to be profitable. And it's only going to get a little bit worse once the writer's strike happened. Of course, we have renegotiations coming up for the Directors Guild. We have renegotiations coming up for SAG this year. Like, it's all kind of coming up in a perfect storm. So if they don't resolve, they're caught between a rock and a hard place. They obviously want to resolve this Writers Guild situation as soon as possible. But if they give away too much, they're basically opening themselves up for more things with the Directors Guild and with SAG, and they're just going to cut more and more into their profits. So I guess this is, for me, just it's interesting to continue to see them throw stuff at the wall, but I don't know how much of it's going to stick or what they're ultimately going to run with once they're done. So
here's a question: would Max be profitable already if they hadn't paid Zaslav $250 million?
That's a good question.
I'm just curious.
I mean,
considering it's a $250 million.
Considering that they had a $217 million loss, the answer is yes, it would be profitable.
The answer is yes. Jesus Christ. You greedy motherfuckers. You greedy motherfuckers.
You know, the funny thing is if they just paid him, what's 250 minus 7? What's 50 minus 17? What is that? Is that 32? 33?
Yeah.
33 million? 33. So if they just paid him 33 million, it would be just breaking even. So actually, if they paid him 32 million, it would be profitable.
I don't know if he'd be able to eat on $33 million.
You're right. I just always remember, I forget when this was. I don't know who it was. But I remember when there was some basketball player and he got like his contract was like 23 or something million a year, and it was like reduced to $17 million a year. And he was like, I can't feed my family on $17 million a year. It's just like people, these fucking people.
Yeah, I find that to be fascinating. They could have already turned a profit had they not done that. And I've heard anecdotally, they could fund the writers' rooms with what they paid him.
Yeah,
the writers' room.
they
that
could
wanna get
fund the
rid of.
writers if they combine, what is it, 4 of the 7 CEOs from the major studios. If they had just combined all of their yearly salaries, they'd be able to cover what they're asking.
Which is
4 of the 7.
crazy because it seems like, at least with Zaslav, and generally speaking, their whole goal is just to cut spending. Well, spend less on yourself.
No, the
that's
other
too much
people,
like Ray.
they matter more, Jonesy.
Yeah.
They matter more. They're
Yeah.
making the decisions that we can't.
So
I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I know what the hell a day to day of a top executive is over there and how busy they are. But come on,
Is it worth $250 million? Yeah.
I mean, is it? I don't know.
Do you
I
remember
don't know if he's able to make it profitable a year ahead of schedule. Is that worth $250 million? Maybe.
maybe?
I don't know.
Do you
No,
remember
because
that
that $250 million is what would have made them profitable. So no.
the overall losses though were over $2 billion for Warner Discovery. So
HBO.
or Warner Discovery.
No, Warner Brothers Discovery.
Yeah, for Warner Brothers Discovery, their total losses for the quarter was 2.1 billion. So yeah, sure, you could take all of it.
Q4 of last year, right?
Yeah. You could take, the C-suite's pay and divvy it out, but it's still not going to necessarily cover all of that.
Oh, right.
So-
It's a quarter of $250 million. Sorry, that's my bad. It's a quarter of that.
Yeah.
So no, Jonesy, it
Whatever.
would not be profitable.
I see.
I'm sorry to say. It's a good point.
Whatever. It's Velma's fault. Let's blame it on her.
It's funny. Velma is like the one thing that's probably performing very well based on them renewing it so fucking quickly and based on all the internet
Did it get
just
renewed?
talking about it. Oh yeah, it got renewed so fast because it was really popular. I don't care. People watch the hell out of that show. Numbers
hate
don't
watch
lie. Probably. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, did you watch it?
No.
I watched it.
I'm
wasn't
so
great.
far out of being interested in anything that Mindy Kaling does.
She did some good stuff. I like the stuff that she does, or not all of it, but some of it.
She hasn't done anything good since her own TV show, and that got repetitive, and I was like, I'm done.
Oh, that show was weird, man. I remember people talking about it was weird because the main cast kept getting switched out. I think the Sex Lives of College Girls is really good so far. But we'll see where it ends up going. Then what else has she done besides that and Velma? I know she's done a lot, but I'm not sure what else.